Welcome to another episode of Dirt, Grit, and Stupid Shit, The Adventures in Real Estate. And today, I have another guest on the show here that her name is Wendy Leblanc. She is the broker of Real Broker LLC, where I happen to work at also. So, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem, no problem. Why don't you tell the people how long you've been in real estate?
Okay. Let's see. I activated my license January in 2003.
Oh, so you're young.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
And just brand new. Brand new.
He's not
Sweet
brand new.
summer child. That's
Right.
me. So 2003, and then in 2005, the end of 2005, we started working on launching some offices in Denham Springs and Zachary when I was with Keller Williams. So I went there. I was there for a long time.
Long time. huh?
Long time.
Like you still got a death probably, with your name engraved down right over there. Go ahead.
No,
Go
I
ahead.
don't think so. I don't think so.
All right.
And then, for a while I did the independent stuff. I had my own company for about 4 years. And
Isn't that fun to have your own brokerage? You said-
No.
Oh, just checking. Okay. Yeah, everybody talks about, I want to own my own brokerage and I want to control all the agents, but isn't that more like babysitting?
Well, it can be. It's not, for me, it wasn't about really control. It was just about, why I'm a broker. Let me just do this. And then I don't have to pay other people. I don't have to, do all
Right.
that.
Well, a lot of people think it's about all the money.
Right. No, it's not about that. But it is a lot of work. It is, you don't think about, how much goes into, running your own company. So then you and I had co-opted, and
Right.
Real was looking for somebody in Louisiana. And so that's just kind of
Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Here you are.
Here I sit in front of you today.
Right. So what's really weird is people listening, we've only done one transaction together.
Working, co-oping.
Co-oping, which means she's on the other side representing
Right.
the buyer, possibly. On that one she was, and then I was representing the seller.
Yes.
And then wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
Well, no, we did two.
Okay, we did too.
Yeah.
I forgot about the second
other
one.
one.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then now you're the broker of the company that we both work at. So I'm sure you have gone through some stuff, because what are we looking at? Over 20 years in the business for you?
Right at 20 years, yeah.
Right at 20 years. So I'm sure you've come across some crazy shit that you...
Yeah.
Well, just tell you look it up.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so tell me one. Tell the people one crazy thing that you really had to go through that you think was just nuts.
Let's see. Okay, the one thing that always pops up in my head when I think about just the strangest, craziest. I had listed, I will not say street names.
No, you can't do that. You can just say like where it's at. If it's Baton Rouge.
So I listed a home in Denham Springs, and
Okay.
it was I was going out there to get it listed. It was a bank foreclosure.
Ooh.
And so, going through, and it had this crazy wallpaper, and it looked like, reminded me of Piccadilly. But,
Oh,
yeah. So it had some holes in the walls and stuff like that. And I
what's
had
a foreclosure?
Right. And so I had my son with me, and Nicholas at that time was probably about 7. And
Was it Bring Your Son to Work Day?
it was Bring Your Son to Work Day.
Okay, go ahead.
There were a lot of those days. Both my children will tell you they don't ever want to do real estate from being
Oh,
drugged from place to
Lord.
place. So anyway, we go out, and I'm looking at the carport, looking at the backyard, and I said, well, let me go in the storage room and just check and make sure, no critters or living
people.
in there or people. Yeah, that's always the scary part. So I walk in, and my son points up on the windowsill, and he's like, "Mom, what's that?" It was
on the windowsill.
Yeah, in the storage room. It was it was made out of aluminum foil, but it was one of those like
The windowsill was made out of aluminum foil?
no, the little marijuana pipe.
the
With
marijuana.
stuff in it. Yeah. And so I go
Oh.
into mom mode real quick. I'm like,
Oh,
don't
yeah.
touch that. Don't touch that. Oh, my God. And so he's wanting, of course, what is it? And I'm thinking, I'm not telling you what this is. But then I have to wait and I have to call the sheriff's office. And that probably was
One you'll never
the
forget.
odd. No. Yeah, I didn't expect to, find drugs. in the house. And then what do you do? Like, I can't just throw that away. I've got to call somebody. So
Right.
I forget who the deputy was that came out now, but he laughed about it. He thought it was funny. And I'm like, I need this out of here. And then
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
And then I'm thinking, do I have to disclose that?
Well, no, it's a foreclosure. It's kind of like when we go over the property disclosure, the paperwork here in Louisiana.
Right.
There's this one section that is now on the property disclosure that just recently, I say, maybe 10 years ago, that just hit it. And it basically, I'll just sum it up in a couple of words. Are you a rolling meth lab?
Yes.
And it's on our paperwork.
Yeah.
And, you ever been in a house that's been a rolling meth lab?
No.
Well, you can't go in one. I just want to tell you this because people don't understand how a meth really, really works. You can't go in a meth lab house because meth eats wires behind the walls. It was a very interesting class. I sat down with an officer, Louisiana State Police officer, and we talked about that, and he showed me some pictures, and I'm like, wow. He said, you'll know when you come across one. I'm like, yeah, I don't think I want to know that at all. But we run across crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, like, I've been showing houses and opened a closet to show them, and it looked like it was the storage room at Frenzy's. I mean, yeah.
Whoa.
And there's just really not
you
much
want to tell, maybe you might want to tell the listeners what a frenzy is. What's a frenzy shop?
No, I'm not going to. They can look that up.
Oh, they can.
Shout
just
out.
leaving them hanging, huh?
Shout out Frenzy's. Yeah, I know. But,
oh, my God.
Yeah. But that was interesting. Let's see. I've shown the wrong house.
Oh.
Yeah. So you go in the neighborhoods and they all look alike, and you forget who the listing agent is. And so there's two of them on the same street. With
I know people are probably listening going, how in the hell can they show the wrong house?
How's she been in the business for 20 years?
Shit happens.
Yeah, it does.
And
Stupid shit.
I've done that stupid shit. I will actually admit to that and have rolled up to the wrong house, looked at it, and go to pull up my stuff, and I'm like, holy shit. Yeah. I'm in the wrong house. I mean, it's up for sale. It's not like I just can't get in anybody's house, Right. But yeah, I've done that before. That's nuts. Another crazy thing is I don't like to text and drive, it's against the law anyway.
Right.
And a lot of us do it always, and I still do it. But what I do now, and I don't do it anymore, is you talk to text. You know how you can talk to text?
I do know how you can do that.
You ever talk to text and it didn't quite come out the way it's supposed to come out?
I typically don't use it. I have received several that don't. Sometimes they're from you. But
from me? What you trying to say? I'm still talking to text.
I've been in the vehicle when you were doing it. It's hilarious.
Right, but I like how the new vehicles you never have to take your hand off the wheel. You can talk straight to it, and it hasn't messed up yet. But back then, it was always a mess up.
It was autocorrect is the worst thing in the world.
Oh my God, you look like a pure idiot.
Yeah, well, I think it's
I felt like
that
an
way.
Idiot.
Yeah, I really do think it's designed that way. I think that somewhere along the way, the people that invented all that decided people are lazy, and so we're going to get them.
I just didn't want to text and drive. Didn't want to take my hands off or my eyes off the wheel. I just didn't want to. And, when we're agents like this, we're multitasking. At least I am.
Yes.
Doing 5 things at one time. So, when you're trying to check in on your seller and tell them you got a showing coming, and then they kind of, they're auto text. They're talking in text too sometimes. They're like, we're clean and we're ready. It's all prepped. And one time it was all pooped. I cleaned and I pooped, and I'm like, pooped? You mean prepped? Like, what the shit? So I'm not the only one. Now, there's clients that have done that too. Yeah. So just crazy stuff, But what else has happened to you? Tell me some more crazy stuff.
I mean, just well, speaking of texting and stuff like that, I did have it was a couple that I was with this years ago. A couple that I was working with, and I had been texting with the wife about a property. And then in turn, it looked like maybe she had been texting with her husband.
Uh-oh, okay.
And about the property. And then they were texting about other stuff. And
oh, no.
The next thing I knew I got a reply from the wife that was clearly meant for him.
Yeah.
And it was spicy. I'll say that. I was, yeah, I was like,
It was kind of frenzy.
yeah. And so I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, okay, how do you respond to this?
You
know, do I say thank you? Do I say I'm flattered, but no?
Wrong woman.
I said, I texted her back and I said, I think you meant this for him. And she just, my phone started ringing immediately. She's like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. I'm so sorry. And I was like, hey, no.
Shit happens.
Yeah.
I mean, shit happens. You know, that's just part of the.
Yeah, and then you're like, can I borrow that text? I'm passing on to my husband. Yeah.
Oh my God. Wendy.
Well, what do you do? I mean, you know.
She's educating you, huh?
Yeah, she was.
She was educating. Education. That's right.
I was educating her on real estate, and she was educating, I guess, on other stuff. But that was, I was like, whoa, okay.
Well, cool.
Yeah.
But so what about showing houses? Have you come across anything that's nuts? I mean, I've come across stripper poles and all kinds of crazy stuff.
There was, I remember one house that I wasn't showing it. We were on, back when we used to, remember you go on broker tour after the weekly meeting.
So explain broker tour to the people listening, because most people, they're not going to know it.
A lot of them, I don't even really know any
of the companies that do it anymore.
But man, was it fun. And I know you've had Dawn Brown on here,
right?
You know, before. Well, Dawn was one of the first agents that I ever worked with, and I got my license and all. And she was all like, "Girl, come on with me, I'm gonna take it."
Girl.
And I'm like, "Okay." So, you know, we'd go on broker tours and stuff like that. And so, basically, after you meeting any new listings, all the agents would caravan, and you go from house to house to house. And
because sellers wanted more opinions, from other agents besides the agent they had representing them.
Right. And a lot of times it also maybe helped the listing agent too. So they could, you know, they're showing the seller, hey, we're getting people in here and all. And I'll be honest, I found out quite a few properties for buyers because I'd gone on tour.
Right, because you go on tour.
Right. I mean, like I'm a big proponent of you need to go tour these properties, especially newer agents. Get out there and know your inventory. Walking something and being inside that home is a whole
total different entity.
Right. Yeah. You're going to learn so much more about it than you're not going to see on the pictures. And trust me, that crazy thing that's in the house that they don't want anybody to know about, it's not on those pictures. They're not advertising that on the internet. So if you'll walk through it, you know, then you can open closets and whatnot. But so we go in to this house and we're looking around, and there was a room off of the bedroom. And so I was like, oh, okay, you know, maybe it's just like, you know, office or whatever like that. Well, we walk in, and there's this giant hook thing in the middle
in the ceiling?
Yeah, in the middle of the ceiling.
Like a round hook?
Yeah. And I was like, what in the world?
Why would there be a hook?
Why? Yeah, I honestly didn't know.
Room off of a bedroom.
Yeah.
How big was that room?
Probably like an 8x8 room. It wasn't big. It might have been the 10x10. I don't know. It was like a small bedroom. Okay. Off of a master bedroom. All right. So there's this hook, and you know, we had some shelves and stuff. There was nothing in the room. Nothing. The room was vacant, you know, and all. But I couldn't figure out what the hook was. And one of the agents that was with me was just dying laughing. And when they finally
using
told
his imagination.
Me, well, yeah, they told me, you know, typically what that's used for, and I was just like, why would you leave that up there? Why would you not take that down? Why would you? I'm like, so, okay, so we have a locked room off a bedroom.
A locked room.
Giant hook.
Right there, you gave it away, a locked room.
Yeah, and so I'm like, okay, next.
So you learned.
I learned.
With the help of another.
That was actually the first time that I ever...
Oh, I've seen the sex swing just hanging. Yeah. They've just left it in there, you know.
Okay, well, I didn't know if we could say sex swing on the...
You can say whatever the hell you want. Okay. This is dirt, grit, and stupid shit, okay?
At that time, I didn't even know what a sex swing was. I knew what a swing in the park was, but I didn't know what a sex swing was. So, yeah, I was like, what in the actual hell? But...
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
So, yes. I've had, you know... Real estate, I guess, has been sexually enlightening for Wendy. Now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, maybe,
Oh.
yes. Well, we need to talk about something else. I mean, this is ridiculous. Okay.
Well, you tell you
know.
look. You're just telling it like
But
it
those
is.
are the really funny ones. I mean, those are the where you're like, oh my gosh, and then we've all walked in those houses where you're like,
oh my God,
did I step back in time? And when they go, well, it's partially updated. Where?
Where's it?
Where? Because the new paint on the shutters and the new roof is not what we're talking about.
We
We're
still
talking
got
about
the shag
updated.
carpet there. That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
I mean, stuff like that. Or let's see. I've gone in. We've all been in those houses where they're vacant, and you go in and it's been closed off.
No, that's always there. You ever been in a house that is unhealthy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have. And, we had the flood here
Mm-hmm.
in 2016 where a lot of clients, including myself and my family, lost their houses and their stuff, and very distressful times, right? So, but there's this one house that didn't flood. And I was just wondering how it didn't. And in the back of your mind, after I've been there, put it on the market, you wish it would have flooded. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. And I'm a flood victim, okay?
Yeah.
So I can say that.
Yep.
What I mean by that is I called it the cat house.
Oh, dear.
I actually advertised it as the cat house.
No, stop it. You did not.
No, you weren't my boss at that time, so it was okay. I got away with it. But, man, it was priced right. It had an acre, and it was out here in the Denver Springs area.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just say that. And
I'm gonna have to go back in the MLS.
no, we're not gonna do that because it's gone now. I sold it. But you try to tell people, look, because this is what I told her. I said, I couldn't hardly breathe in there. I said, you got 8 cats with 7 litter boxes and 3 dogs, and you've never changed the carpet since 1977.
Oh.
And I know we got to sell this, but she was also taking care of a disabled mother in a wheelchair.
Oh.
And I brought in, at that time, I was always training agents, new ones. Mm-hmm. And he came in with me, and I know if I bring him on this podcast with me, he's going to remember it and talk about it. Because, cats, when they pee, it's an aroma that'll freaking kill you.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
And I have a cat. One. Mm-hmm. I have more dogs than cats.
Yes.
But it's 8 cats with 7 litter boxes. Just picture that in your head. You probably can smell it now. I can. So it's crazy. And I tried to explain to her, I'm like, I can't do this. And my eyes were watering. And I went out the house. I said, you're going to have to bring your ass out here because I can't take it no more. I was in there 30 minutes, I thought I was going to die. So we go out
You need one of those old
in the
gas
driveway.
masks.
Yeah, I need a fumigator with a hazard suit
Oh,
or
a
something.
hazmat suit.
That's what I needed. And so we go out on the driveway. Bring her cigarette out there, and the mama's smoking too. They all got COPD. I mean, it's just crazy. But I'm not kidding you. And we're talking on the driveway, and my eyes are still watering. So I said, let's back up about another 100 feet. And we did. This went on the market. We'll make a long story short. This went on the market. And I had to put in the realtor remarks because public remarks see certain things. Realtors see the other stuff, right? That the public don't see. And I told them, enter at your own risk. This is a cat house. These people don't understand. They don't smell it. It doesn't affect them. Because, after a while, when you're living in something, you get immune to it. It's kind of like, I used to own a bar room, several different bar rooms. And I had a customer that always came to the bar, and he always wanted a Crown and 7. And after a while, the Crown, he kept drinking it for so many years, you just get immune to it. Your system can get immune to something. So that's had to be what happened at the cat house. It had to be. And so it hits the market. I got like 13 freaking showings because, it didn't flood. Doesn't require flood insurance. But I had to tell people, it's the cat house. It's going to smell. But the driveway was very long, but as soon as you got halfway and you got out your car, you could smell it. outside. Okay, this is strong.
Yeah.
And so anyway, we won't talk about her on here, but we'll talk about it afterwards. She went in and we went under contract with her. She said, Sondra, I got an inspection. I said, well, I need to talk to the inspector. He needs to wear a mask. I mean, not your paper mask. I'm talking about like you hazmat stuff. I'm telling you, it's bad. And he didn't. And she didn't, and they didn't want to listen to me, and so she called me from the hospital. She says, I'm sick as a dog, and I just freaked out. I really did. I freaked out.
It made him sick?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
It was bad because they were in there for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
These inspectors that buyers get to inspect their homes, some inspectors, they like taking 4 hours.
Yes.
And they're going to investigate everything. I couldn't last 30 minutes in the home. I don't know how the hell they're going to last an hour in the home. But then they called me from the hospital and said, we just can't breathe. And it affected us, and we didn't know it was going to affect our lungs, and et cetera, et cetera. Well, long story short, I sold that house. And
did they burn it?
No, they gutted it.
Okay.
Right? It didn't flood, but they gutted it, which means they ripped everything out.
Yeah.
But the problem was, you can rip out carpet. That's what they thought they could do.
No, it's in that concrete.
Correct.
Yes.
It's in the studs. It gets in the walls. Cat urine is just totally different than dog. Yep. And I learned it the hard way. And I'm going to actually show you after this week.
It's like a chemical weapon.
It's bad. I'm actually going to show you my advertisement from it because I actually put it on Snapchat because not a lot of people follow that over there. Yeah. I'm actually in a hazmat suit with a kitty cat doing this. I mean, I made it fun, You kind of make fun, but make it more enlightening.
Buy it for the land and put Burning Man in the front or something.
I'm telling you,
that's
I think
all
they
you
should have
do.
just knocked it down. But so that was a really tough. That was probably one of my toughest sales as a listing agent because I couldn't handle it. I remember it to the T. So does my transaction coordinator. She was with me. It was nuts. But so we come across stuff like that. You ever? So we were talking about a crazy house or something that was hard to handle. What have you ever had that's so hard to handle that you definitely remember?
Oh gosh.
Just threw you out there under the bus.
I know. I don't know that I've really had. I mean, I've had listings where it might have been like. Location wise, it was just it was going to take that right client. It was going to take somebody that didn't mind being very, very far out or something of that sort. I don't know that I've had.
You hadn't had no kitty cat. I mean,
no. I don't know if I've had a property that really, I sold one where the tenants moved out and they had been smoking in the house, and so we had to bring in. I have an ozone machine.
That is, and people don't realize that either.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's, if that happens,
they don't realize that either because when you smoke in your home, then it's just horrible, and you can always tell.
Yes.
You just take a picture off the wall, and there's your nicotine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I learned that, and I'm a smoker. I learned that.
Yeah. So.
Actually, I'm off of cigarettes now. You'll be proud.
I know.
of it.
I'm so proud of you.
I know. I'm vaping.
Yeah. And I can't.
That's Tiffany Seacard's fault. I'm vaping. But
well, that's not. Don't blame her. That's not a bad thing.
She's always telling me, "Quit smoking. Quit smoking."
Yeah.
And I've been smoking a long time. But going in these smoke homes, that's a tough one.
It is. It's bad. And you don't realize it because, like you said, you become immune.
You do.
To the stuff that's in your own house.
I didn't think you ever could get immune that strong. I guess because they had COPD and they were smoking and the cigarette, the ashtrays overflow and they couldn't see the 7 cat litter things overflowing. I have never comprehended that sale.
I'm just impressed that you even took the listing.
Well,
I'd have been like,
I felt
peace
bad.
Out.
I know. I know because in this business you don't take, and I talked about that in a couple of podcasts. I think it was my second one, podcast number 2. I think it was. I talked about sometimes you don't take every listing.
No.
You can't.
No.
This one I think after the flood, a lot of things happened to people, including myself. And what that means is, you still service people with transparency.
Right.
But I think the heart changes, and then you become a servant of the heart. And what I mean by that is you just care a lot more. And I saw almost a 90-year-old woman in a wheelchair, and then the daughter who's just puffing away that I just wanted to reach out and slap her.
That's when I always say, I just want to grab them by the back of the head and just go,
stop.
right up
and
against
then
the wall.
And being in that environment with all those cats and the dogs, and then they wanted to sell because they needed to, and it's crazy, and now they're both deceased. Yeah. So, but I got them out of that situation. I don't know if it was better for the buyer. I have never rode back by that house. I probably should, just because I could knock on the door, find out what's going on. But anyway.
If you can make it up the driveway.
Well, it's a different.
No, roll your windows down and make sure. Are we safe?
Are we safe?
Has it been long enough?
Well, have you ever had anything else happen to you? Like, have you ever felt like you were scared or something?
Okay, I've got one.
Oh,
I've got one. It just popped into my head and I forgot about this. Okay, so do you remember? And if any of my real estate buddies out there that might be listening or watching, remember the days of the BPOs?
Oh God.
Okay, so your girl decided.
Explain what a BPO is. What does it stand for?
Broker price opinion. And so you'd have like people that were maybe defaulting on their loans and things like that. And so the banks or the lenders, they would hire out these BPO companies to have a local agent go by and, check the outside of the house. Sometimes you might have to go inside. Most of the ones I did were just a drive-by BPO. And so I take one.
and they pay a lot of money, don't they?
It was $50 whole.
$50. Well, that's when gas was 79 cents a gallon.
Right.
But go ahead.
But, and so, this was like early 2000s. And so, I mean, if you could do 10 a month, that's it's easy little extra money. So I drive way out into the middle of Holden, and I go down this little gravel road. And, of course, it's the very last property at the end of the road. And when I'm driving past, I see this little dog, that's chained up. And when I say chained up, I'm talking like this heavy, heavy, heavy chain, like you would think.
So what we got, like a 3-pound dog with a...
It was a dachshund, yeah. But wow. I have a 115-pound Doberman. I don't even know that Loki would need this heavy of a chain.
Oh,
this
wow.
Dachshund
So it's a big old
chain. That dachshund could move around with that chain, too. So I was a little afraid of this dachshund.
I would be scared, too.
Yeah.
A little 10-pounder can move a chain.
I know. I was like, dude, what in the world are they feeding you? But so I go down to the end of the road, and I get out, and I'm taking my, my photos. We had to have like a front photo, a street photo, and then a photo that
got to work hard for that $50
for the address. Absolutely. And this for camera phone, so you got to have the camera. You got This was
that's right.
This is when I still have my Nokia flip phone.
Oh, and I still have my Motorola bag in the bag. Yeah.
I missed my flip phone because when I would get mad, I could slap that thing shut.
Right, because then if you wanted to hang up on somebody, you could just throw that thing down.
Now it's just like, end. Yeah, whatever. There's no...
Effect's not the same. Go ahead.
It's not.
Yeah, I know.
So I take my pictures and all like that. I go to get back in my car, coming back down.
Uh-oh.
The same
Dachshund.
mobile home where the dachshund is. There's now a man. No shoes, no shirt. He had some shorts on, thank goodness.
Okay.
And he looked rough. Rough.
Okay, so just standing there with shorts on, everything.
Shirt? No, not just standing there. No shirt. No, he's coming.
Jogging?
Coming to the car.
Oh, he's walking to you.
So I cracked the window, like maybe 2 inches. Can I help you? Why are you taking pictures of da, 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 da? I said, sir, I'm not trying to take pictures of your property. I said, I was taking pictures of the street. I apologize if it gave you the wrong impression. I said, the lender has hired out to have some photos of this property.
Right.
He jumped on the hood of my car.
Whoa.
I was like...
How old was this man? Like
oh, gosh. I mean...
30-ish?
Oh, yeah. Definitely like late 30s, maybe early 40s. He's laid out on the hood of my car.
What the hell did you do? You take off? I would have put the pedal to the metal.
I told him, I was like, you have but 2 seconds. I said, are you going for a ride?
You fixed me my hood ornament. Okay, go ahead.
And he didn't think so. And so I revved it and kind of went a little bit, and he jumped off. But that was the last BPO I did.
Well, I don't
I
blame
was
you,
like,
see?
no. I remember going back to the office and telling my broker I had some hillbilly jump on my car.
Some hillbilly.
And then I feel sorry for his dachshund. So do I need to call animal control? Because that was a mess. I mean, it was just, I was like, I have never seen such. But yeah, jumped on my car.
Well, I didn't really like doing BPOs because they didn't pay enough.
Right.
Because they varied from 35 to 50. They really did.
Yeah.
And I thought for the knowledge we had and the gas and the time, because time is money,
Yeah.
why would I want to go and put my eyes on it for the bank when everybody's situation is different anyway?
Yeah.
You know, people don't realize in Louisiana, it takes from time of starting a foreclosure, which is usually why they want a BPO anyway. From the time of filing a foreclosure, it takes 12 months.
Yeah.
That's the time in Louisiana. And so I always try to talk to people that are getting behind on their notes. You know, Dawn Brown is excellent at this.
She is. She's the one that taught me
Right,
all about that.
Well, absolutely. She's the one that's got all the paper. And when I say paperwork, the designations and the classes and
Right.
the earnings of all those badges, we'll just call it, that Dawn has. And so I always try to teach people, when you know you're 3 months behind on paying, get to that fourth time, and you're almost to halfway in the year, that's when they'll kind of start.
Yeah.
But if you call a real estate agent that knows, you got to know this, you got to kind of have a niche at this.
Yeah.
And if you contact an agent and you're like 6 months behind, legally you can stay in that house for about another year. And they don't realize that without paying anything.
We don't recommend that, though.
Okay, but listen, I understand what you're saying. But if you contact a realtor that knows, then we're the ones that can stop and prolong the foreclosure, because we're licensed in the state, and with the commissioner, the mortgage company recognizes that. So they much rather have a licensed professional instead of the homeowner not paying, because a licensed professional will step in and do what they need to do, because you're looking out now for the interest of what? The mortgage company.
Yeah.
So, and you know, clients out there don't even realize that. Homeowners don't even realize that. They're like, well, I'm behind 4 months, so I'm just gonna ride this out. Ain't nothing I can do about it. You can call a realtor.
Yeah.
And we can stop some stuff.
Right.
And save your ass from going down the bad hill and having bad credit and have your wages garnished. I mean, I don't know what that's like, wages garnished, you know? I mean, I've been an entrepreneur and working for myself since I was 17. All right. Well, listen, I want to thank you for coming on here on the podcast with me of Dirt, Grit, and Stupid Shit and Adventures of Real Estate. And I really think, would you come back for part 2?
Sure. Yeah,
all right,
I'd love to.
All right, Wendy. So, Wendy Leblanc, let's do part 2. What you think?
I think that's great.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.